Why lawyers cannot do much about online get-rich-quick scams. In many respects, this is a difficult topic to discuss due to the reality that most lawyers, present company included, can do little, if anything, to deal with online get-rich-quick scams. I know you're looking for a way to make this right, and lawyers, by their training and professional instincts, are always seeking to find a path toward justice for their clients. However, I need to be brutally honest with you about the landscape of online scams, from those get-rich-quick crypto promises to the deepfake videos that looked so much like a trusted celebrity. The reality of the legal profession is that we are often the last people who can help once the money is gone. It isn't for a lack of desire or empathy, but because the machinery of the law is built for a physical world with boundaries, while your loss occurred in a digital ether specifically designed to be unreachable. The first wall you'll hit is the John Doe problem, which is the legal term for an unidentified defendant. In a traditional lawsuit, a lawyer can send a process server to someone's front door to hand them a summons, but in the world of online Ponzi schemes and pyramid frauds, your attacker is often nothing more than a series of encrypted telegram messages or a spoofed IP address. In turn, lawyers can spend thousands of your dollars filing subpoenas to internet service providers or social media platforms, only to find that the trail leads to a mule account or a server in a country that doesn't cooperate with Western courts. If a lawyer can't identify who to sue, the lawyer can't even get the case into the courtroom, leaving you at a dead end before you've even started. Even if your lawyer managed to put a name to the face, they immediately run into the nightmare of international jurisdiction. Most of these high-level scams, especially those involving deepfakes or sophisticated multi-level marketing structures, are operated by syndicates sitting in jurisdictions like Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, or offshore tax havens. Your lawyer's license to practice law generally stops at the border, and trying to enforce a judgment across the ocean is an astronomical undertaking. To chase a scammer in another country, your lawyer would have to hire local counsel in that nation, pay for international investigators, and navigate a foreign legal system that may be indifferent, or worse, corruptly protective of the very people who took your money. Then you have to talk about the judgment-proof nature of these criminals. Even if you win your case and a judge signs an order saying they owe you $1 million, that piece of paper doesn't automatically put cash in your pocket. Professional scammers are experts at dissipating assets, which is a fancy way of saying they spend or hide the money the second they get it. By the time you realize you've been scammed, your life savings have likely been tumbled through a dozen cryptocurrency mixers or laundered through a web of shell companies. You can't squeeze blood from a stone, and you certainly can't squeeze it from a digital wallet that was emptied 3 months ago. The cold, hard mathematics of legal fees is perhaps the most painful part of this conversation. Most people expect a lawyer to take a fraud case on a contingency fee basis, meaning the lawyer only gets paid if you win, but almost no reputable law firm will do that for an online scam. Why? Because the risk of recovery is near 100%. To even attempt a recovery, your lawyer would have to charge you hourly, and at rates in excess of $300 to $500 an hour, the cost of the litigation would quickly eclipse the amount you lost. Online fraud victims might lose $50,000, only to realize a serious attempt at recovery would cost them another $75,000 in legal and forensic fees with no guarantee of success, effectively being victimized a second time by the process itself. You also face the hurdle of contributory negligence, or the buyer beware defense, that many institutions use to wash their hands of the situation. When you try to sue the banks or the crypto exchanges for letting the money flow out, they point to their terms of service and the fact that you authorized the transfer. In the eyes of the law, if you were tricked into sending money, the bank is often not held liable because they simply followed your instructions. Unless your lawyer can prove the bank had a glaring red flag they ignored, they have more lawyers and more money than both you and your privately retained lawyer have combined to ensure they don't have to pay for the scammer's crimes. Furthermore, the technology used in these scams, like deepfakes and AI-generated personas, is evolving faster than our evidentiary rules. If your lawyer tries to bring a case based on a fraudulent video, the defense will challenge the authenticity of every digital scrap of evidence that is presented. you would need to hire expensive digital forensic experts to testify about how the deepfake was created and why it was deceptive. This adds another layer of expert witness costs to your bill. The legal system is a slow-moving beast that relies on precedents from decades ago. It simply isn't equipped to handle a crime that was executed by an algorithm in 3 seconds. It's also important to be aware of recovery scams, which are perhaps the cruelest part of this ecosystem. Once you've been targeted, your name often ends up on a sucker list sold between criminal groups. You might get a call from someone claiming to be a specialized recovery consultant or even a private investigator who says they found your money and just needs a legal retainer to get it back. These are almost always the same scammers coming for a second helping. They know you're desperate for a lawyer, and they will use that hope to drain whatever remains of your accounts. Ultimately, some of the best advice isn't a legal strategy, but a hard truth. The best way to win against these scams is to stop the bleeding immediately. Report the crime to your National Fraud Center, such as the FBI's IC3, so they can add your data to their larger investigations. This might help them catch the big fish eventually, though it rarely results in a check for you. Focus your remaining resources on rebuilding your life rather than chasing a ghost through a legal system that was never designed to catch them. As though you might have sought a different answer, the reality is that the pursuit of legal action against online fraud scams are, mathematically and legally, stacked against you. We welcome you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more informative videos on pursuing legitimate business on the internet while avoiding internet-based get-rich-quick scams. Thank you.